number one Syracuse Sports Radio right here on YouTube. So happy to be back with you folks once again. I am your host, Brandon Nunning. Folks, today's episode of Beat Down Radio is brought to you guys by our friends at Itasha Coffee Company. Folks, Itasha Coffee Company is the premier coffee brand here on BW Radio Network. Founded in Chicago in 2023, Itasha Coffee Company is the premier anime-inspired coffee brand for fans who love to live life loud. They blend top-tier beans to bring you flavors that will not only give your taste buds a kick into fifth gear, but will give you the energy to start your day off right. So whether you're a cosplayer, a VTuber, or a streamer like us, Itasha Coffee Company makes you feel like part of the family. Check them out in the link below and use code the BW Radio Network. That's the BW Radio Network at checkout for awesome discounts. Good morning, everyone. I am your host, Brandon Nunning, here alongside my co-host, Thomas Noble. Folks, we are live this morning. We have a lot on the docket to talk about. Ain't that right, my good friend, Thomas Noble?
Oh, indeed, we got a lot of motherfucking shit to talk about. Honestly.
All right, I'm glad we're getting the swears in now. All right. All right. So, usually we start off with Syracuse sports, but unfortunately Syracuse was on a bye week this week, so we're going to start in a much different place this week. We're going to start with the big college football matchup for one of our favorite teams, which is the USC Trojans taking on number 15 Michigan last night. Noble, all I can say is what the heck.
What the heck is right? Like, coming to that game, just like last week, when I was like, when the Patriots played Buffalo, like, I said on last Sunday, watch us lose to Buffalo. But guess what? The Patriots found a way to win the game. But this is the same energy I have from that. I was like, watch Michigan beat us because they got a dynamite freshman quarterback. But I am shocked that USC won that game. They were pissed off after losing to Illinois, which we should have won that game, honestly. They look really angry at that game. They want to win this game. They want Lincoln Riley to keep his damn job, which honestly he did a great job this season compared to last, in my opinion. Our quarterback did make some great plays. Kai Lemon just made the magic happen. Jacoby Lane, great plays out of him here. And with our running backs injured, we managed to have a freshman to make some commitment on this game. Man, something about USC is just really always surprises me.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to turn on the game last night and watch USC for the first time realistically this season, and I was surprised by just how, I mean, efficient they looked. Like, I was surprised at how they were able to take on one of the top defenses in the nation in Michigan and just completely run right through them. Like, I was not expecting that. I was fully expecting like a lopsided game for the Trojans, but clearly it went in the favor of the Trojans, and I'm not gonna lie, I honestly had Michigan walking away in that one, but clearly, can't always be right when it comes to these football picks. Trust me, we've done that numerous times, or we've been wrong.
Yeah, I legit thought Michigan win that game as well because, like, come on, like, it's Michigan. Last year we lost to them bad, and we should have won that game. And USC are really, really, really pissed off of that loss last year. They do not want to suffer that again. They do not want to have Lincoln Riley to lose his job. So what do? They are clearly they're angry. They're playing smash mouth football, and I'm sorry to say this here, they made the Wolverines like the little cubs they are.
Ooh. You better hope that Barstool Sports never sees this, because Dave Portnoy would run down your throat if you fucking said that.
All Dave Portnoy can do is just rating on pizzas. That's all.
Just want to point out that's his opinion. We love Dave Portnoy.
Yes. No, yeah. Not going to take any shots on Dave Portnoy, but it's true.
All right, so obviously the USC Trojans walked away with a big time victory yesterday. It was a big time win for them. However, there was other big time victories that we were absolutely surprised about. And we do have the full college football slate from yesterday. And excuse me, the one game that was honestly the most talked about was the Red River rivalry between Texas and number 6 Oklahoma. Uh, in which I was absolutely shocked to see that Texas walked out with a 23-6 victory.
Yeah, that is unexpected. It came from losing to Florida to become unranked to legit beat a fully recovered, a almost full recovered John Mateer, who was the favorite to win the fit. Not wrong trophy. Who was the favorite to win the Heisman? But the dude got 3 interceptions against Texas. That is just a piss poor performance. Texas is legit, literally just show everyone why they're not a team to mess with. And you would and you and I stumbled upon Twitter yesterday, and they Texas literally did the most savage things I ever seen. They grabbed a Oklahoma Baker Mayfield jersey, put on the midfield, plant the Texas flag on Baker Mayfield's Oklahoma jersey at midfield.
See, here's my thing about this, right? Is Texas is the most inconsistent team in the nation, considering the fact that they don't know whether they want to win big time games or lose big time games. They went into that Red River rivalry and said, "We are going to take number 6 Oklahoma and we are going to make them look like the bunch of bitches that they are." And that's not me being a jerk. That's me being legit honest here. I mean, Texas not only won this game, but they dominated in every part of it. They dominated on offense, they dominated on defense. I mean, it was just a one-sided game pretty much this whole time. I mean, it was like Oklahoma couldn't really do anything. It looked like it was going to be Oklahoma's game because they started off with two field goals to start the game, but then all of a sudden it was like everything just went Texas's way, and it was like they couldn't slow them down on either side of the ball. Not only that, but Manning. I mean, even though he only threw for one touchdown, had 166 yards, he still looked impressive. But not only that, but Moore Jr. I mean, he looked impressive as well.
Oh yes, this is the yeah, most people, most media outlets are literally keep double downing Texas because they're in their eyes the Texas is the most overrated SEC team this season. Honestly, I really don't buy it. Texas, I'm gonna put this out there. The only reason Texas is not that good this season is not Arch Manning. No. I saw this earlier and I looked through some videos and some tapes here. It's the offensive line. I'm sorry. I'm going to put it out there. The offensive line cannot protect for shit. If you don't have a good offensive line to protect your quarterback, shit hits the fan. That's what we just witnessed for the last couple of games or so. On that loss to Ohio State, and on that freaking loss, and the games that they should have lost, and on that loss to Florida. I'm sorry. Blame Arch Manning all you want, but in my eyes, it's the offensive line is at fault for those games that they should have lost, and the game that they and those 2 games that they lost.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously that was one of the big ones, and obviously Mateer throwing the 3 interceptions. I mean, obviously didn't help Oklahoma whatsoever in that game. But I want to get to some more of these college football games because obviously there was a lot of interesting games that took place yesterday. Number 8 Alabama takes down number 14 Missouri 27-24 in that one. Obviously number 10 Georgia took down Auburn 20-10 in that one. Number 1, Ohio State dominated number 17 Illinois 34-16 in that one. But there were some games that were probably the most shocking here, and I want to start with this one. It's number 7 Indiana taking on number 3 Oregon, and which number 7 Indiana topples number 3 Oregon 30-20. Noble, I gotta ask you, do you think that Oregon is like the most inconsistent team when it comes to being a top tier team only to crumble when they go up against another top tier team?
Yes, and here's the reason why. Oregon, although they play they play good games here, but that's against like lower tier teams. That's all against like a mid tier team. They have never faced anybody in my eyes like Indiana. The Hoosiers are and I'm gonna put this out there now. The Hoosiers are the most improved teams in the Big Ten in 2024 and 2025 when they hired Kurt Signetti, who was used to coach at James Madison, which my older cousin graduated from there. Indi- Indiana, in my eyes, besides Ohio State, they're the second best team in the Big Ten, in my opinion, over Oregon, over Penn State for sure, and over the teams that they played against here. Indiana is really one of the best teams out there in college football.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt, especially with yesterday's performance. I think that they definitely earned themselves uh in probably going to be in the top 5 ranking probably this week when the new rankings come out. Let's see.
Yeah,
There was another shocking one because there were a lot of upsets yesterday.
yeah, and I was gonna say, I don't know if it's true or not, but there's like some scouts watching those two quarterbacks, Dante Moore and Fernando Mendoza. I'm pretty sure what his name is for Indiana. Um, it, some media outlets on ESPN say that Mendoza is possibly a projected as a QB1 for this year's draft class. What it looks like if he accepts to the draft or this year or possibly next year, because how good that mofo is.
That mofo. Um, all right. So we did have we did have some upsets yesterday, and these are three. I'm not gonna say big. One of them is because it's probably gonna knock them out of the top 25 again. But Utah completely obliterated Arizona State 42-10. Colorado got I believe it was just a 7-point victory over Iowa State, number 22 Iowa State. But this is the one I want.
Yes,
This is the one I want to talk about, Noble. This one's the big one I want to talk about right here because I, we talk about this, I just want to give a quick shout out to the sports Uber paying cash. You, you might as well warm up that fucking Uber, my friend, because you wanted to talk shit on Syracuse. Warm up the bus for fucking Florida State because
a Florida State. It's super time.
see, here was the problem, right? For folks that don't know, Pittsburgh took down number 25 Florida State yesterday, 34-31 in that one. Um, Here was the problem, and I knew that this was going to be the problem when it came to Pitt. Pitt is one of those teams that is like the sleeper dogs. Like they're not consistent, but they know when it comes to big time games that they can get a big time win over a ranked team. I've known this for years.
Yes,
They like to play like they don't like they're not a threat, and then they come into those games where they are a threat and they play like a threat. Problem was didn't have any trust in Florida State. They're too inconsistent. Both sides of the ball just didn't seem right to me. I had a feeling Pitt was going to plow through them, even though Florida State kept it a close game. They kept it close, but That fourth quarter, they completely collapsed. That fourth quarter, they completely collapsed, and Pitt took advantage of it. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna let us tie the game? Well, guess what? We're gonna kick a field goal and we're gonna score a touchdown, and take the lead on your ass." And even though Florida State, tried to bounce back, here comes Pitt saying,
Yep.
"No, no, 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 not so fast, my friend."
Yep.
So, a quick
Yep.
shout out, a quick shout out to the sports Uber. You better warm up the fucking bus. That's what we used to say back in the day. It's called warm up the bus, my friend, and get your asses back to Florida State. Get out of here, mother.
Yeah. Next time you want to trash talk to other teams here, check yours.
It was just complete domination. I mean, I knew it was gonna happen. The problem was is he didn't believe me. I told him it was gonna happen. He said that there's no way they lose to Pitt. I said, you just watch. You doubt the sleepers.
Okay. Yeah.
Watch what happens.
I, I was about to join the conversation. I was like, no, I'll just let you two go at it because I know for a fact here. Like, I was worried that you would go at my USC Trojans because we just lost a game to Illinois, which again we should have won that game, although turnovers cost us. So
Well, all I can say is this: is you can keep your goddamn sports Uber because back in the day we used to say warm up the goddamn bus, and we used to chant that pretty much when it was pretty clear that the team was gonna lose. So please warm up the bus, even though you're at home. Warm up the goddamn bus and get on it and get the hell out of here. Anyway,
yeah, and I better see one YouTube short. It says, "Hey, Florida State, it's overtime. If you don't do it, then I'm sorry. I'm
I'm gonna
sorry. And
hark
this
on
is
him.
gonna be
I'm gonna hark on him. He better do it.
yeah, and I'm so this is gonna be the one time that I'm gonna say this. If you do, and I'm not going to say that anymore, and I'm not saying those two words anymore. If you do not put that short, Florida State, it's overtime, you're a chicken cock.
Chicken. Where the fuck did that come from? Chicken cock.
It's just the two stupid words at the top of my cranium when it comes to this,
Okay,
honestly.
that's funny. All right, so now that we've pretty much gone through week 7, we now have week 8 to take a look at because week 8 in college football is going to be interesting. And Noble, I have a few games that I have highlighted here as potential games to watch. And I'm gonna start with this one, and I'm just gonna ask you. I'm just gonna tell you these games. You tell me who you think is gonna win. All right, you ready?
Yeah, yep.
Number one, Ohio State takes on Wisconsin.
Come on. I'm sorry. Wisconsin is nothing but short as a mid-tier team. Ohio State obliterates them by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I would have said that too, but I'm only gonna go with two because I feel like Wisconsin, even though they also have some problems on their team. They do play good defense. It's just the offensive side of the ball is terrible. So I'm gonna go with Ohio State to win, but I'm gonna say 2 touchdowns at least.
Yep.
All right, we have number 3 Oregon versus Rutgers.
Yeah, Oregon needs this win. They cannot afford to lose 2 in a row. And Rutgers is an up and down team this year. Give me Oregon here on the road.
Yeah, I feel like this is a bounce back game for Oregon, so I'm gonna say they come out with a victory in that one. I'll say by a touchdown. Why not? Make it interesting.
Yep. Yep.
So you ready for this? We have a battle. Well, it's a rematch of a national championship as Washington takes on number 15 Michigan.
Okay. Okay. Uh, it's. I'm sorry. No offense. I got Washington in an upset.
Really?
Yes, because they lost their star running back Justice Haynes. They I don't know how I don't know if he's gonna show up next week at Ann Arbor. I think Washington is more improved than most people did not recognize. I think the Huskies are going to upset them by a game-winning field goal.
I think I can agree with that. I think that Washington could potentially upset Michigan. I think that that's going to be one to keep an eye on, most definitely. But I don't know why. I feel like Michigan needs a bounce back win, especially after losing to USC in such a humiliating fashion. Um, I feel like that they need to prove that they can still be a top 25 team. But if they lose to Washington, then I say that they're pretty much out of the top 25 at this point. So I'm gonna say Michigan needs a bounce back win, but I don't really see it in my eyes of them coming back and winning. So I'm gonna go with Michigan just by a field goal.
All right.
All right, next we got number 4 Ole Miss taking on number 10 Georgia.
Okay, this Ole Miss is probably the most exciting teams I've ever seen in this year's college football. With their starting quarterback injured, they legit have they legit have a Division III quarterback who won a Division III title last season, transferred, and he has zero offers for D1. He transferred to Ole Miss. Look what he did to this team. He literally electrified the Rebels to where they are today. Ole Miss is literally surprised me by the slightest, and they're going against Georgia at Athens. I got Ole Miss here. I think they're going to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Ole Miss is probably one of the underdogs that many people have had, to say the least, as probably one of the teams that we can see right now that's currently 6-0 that could potentially win the college football national championship this year. I think that they have a team that is efficient. I think they have a team that can make a run, and they're going up against a Georgia team that is led by Kirby Smart, and I feel like Kirby won't have any answers for this Ole Miss team like he's had in the past. So I'm gonna say that Ole Miss comes into this one, and I'm gonna say they win by 2 touchdowns just because of how Georgia's been lately. Even though Georgia's defense is still one of the top defenses in the nation, I still feel like there's holes in that defense that teams have manipulated before, made it close games. Even though Georgia should be blowing these teams out, they keep it very close, which is not at the level that they should be at. So I'm gonna say Ole Miss comes in, gets the win, and they walk out with a 2 touchdown victory.
All right.
All right, up next I have number 12 Tennessee taking on number 8 Alabama.
Alabama's overrated. Give me Tennessee in an upset.
Ooh, you think Alabama's overrated?
Yes. I'm sorry. I don't care how good they are at this point here. Who's their only loss to this season?
Georgia.
Yeah, and that's still going to haunt them till this day. And I'm sorry, you cannot beat good, consistent teams. And I'm sorry, you're just showing the people in the nation how overrated you are. I'm sorry, Tennessee is going to expose that Alabama defense. They're going to expose Ty Simpson. They're going to expose every single member of the offense. Exactly how big of a overrated mofos that Alabama are. Tennessee is more consistent than Alabama is. And unfortunately, here, as much I don't want to say this, I love Caleb DeBoer. I do. But his heat is getting hot.
All right, let me go ahead and hit you with my best Lee Corso here. Not so fast, my friend. As much as you want to sit here and say that Alabama is overrated, we have a battle of two top-tier quarterbacks in Aguilar and Simpson. That is honestly should be under prime time lights, which it is. It's going to be a 7:30 p.m. Eastern time kickoff. This is a battle of two teams that are just wanting to prove pure dominance when it comes to college football. And the thing is I feel like that this is going to affect the college football playoff picture in a major way. I feel like the team that takes a loss here is going to slide down the rankings dramatically. Meanwhile, the team that wins this game, I feel like, is going to jump higher up, and it's going to look even better come playoff picking time. With that being said, even though Tennessee has an electrifying offense and Alabama has a offense that is consistent, I think Alabama's side of the ball when it comes to defense is a bit more is a bit more, rushing at the quarterback. Meanwhile, you got Tennessee, whose team is just kind of. I don't want to say they're inconsistent, but Alabama's offense is going to find inconsistencies in that defense, especially with a guy like Simpson. He's not afraid to run the ball. He's not afraid to let that thing throw. Realistically, I think the deep ball is going to matter in this game, and I feel like Simpson is going to find those kind of holes in that Tennessee defense. So I'm going to say that Alabama comes out of this, but I'm going to say they come out with a one field goal victory. I feel like it's going to come down to a last second field goal to determine the winner of this, and I'm going to say it's Alabama.
Right. No matter that is your opinion. I'll take it.
So there are other games that are listed here, which could be, some top football games. Obviously, Friday night under the lights, we have number 2 Miami taking on Louisville. We have LSU taking on Vanderbilt. Georgia Tech taking on Duke. Michigan State taking on number 7 Indiana. So it's a very interesting slate for college football, but I am waiting for rankings because I'm very curious to see as to who slides into those spots where those three teams that lost yesterday. Uh, I mean those teams that lost yesterday, they either lost big time or they lost in close games, but they're going to be out of the top 25. I feel like.
Yeah. Can I say something here? Like, honestly, what? How the hell is Georgia Tech number one in the ACC right now? Like, what the hell?
Dabo's fighting for his job. That's what that means.
Yeah, they're 6-0 on the season. I'm stunned how good this team is. Literally, they beat Colorado. They beat number 12 Clemson in week 3 of the season. They almost lost to Wake Forest. Somehow they won here. And now week 8, you're going against a very tough Duke team. Duke got a great defense. I'll say that. They got a dynamic defense. So this is going to be a tough test for Georgia Tech here on the road to Durham.
Yeah, and of course our two teams that are playing obviously next week. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how they fare because I know that USC is taking on Notre Dame. A ranked Notre Dame team. I forgot where they're ranked.
16th as of right now, but we'll see how what the week 8 AP poll is going to fare here.
And obviously Syracuse is back in action next week. They take on Pitt. Which
Oh no.
yippee for fucking us. Uh, I mean, we don't have a
No.
starting QB, so I don't know what to say in that respect.
Does your starting quarterback Angeli have a another year eligibility left?
I'm praying to God he does.
Well, if he does, then lucky for you that Syracuse will be better next year. If not, I'm not gonna say anything. So I'm not gonna be like the Uber
I would.
master himself. So
I would. All right, we are going to take our first commercial break, Noble. When we come back, we got the NFL Week 6 preview. Obviously, we're going to talk about Thursday night football between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. And then, of course, we look ahead to today's matchups, which is going to be absolutely huge, especially with two Monday night football games, which feature, of course, the Buffalo Bills. We'll talk about all that and more. Not only that, we have MLB postseason as the championship series are officially set with one throwing the first pitch today. We'll talk about that. Not only that, we have the WNBA champions being crowned and in a dominating fashion. And then, of course, we have NBA and NHL to talk about coming up. So stay with us live right here on BW Radio, the number one Syracuse Sports Radio, right here on YouTube.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Big thank you to our sponsors at Fanatics.com. Folks, Fanatics.com, of course, is the one-stop shop for everything sports. Whether you guys are cheering on Syracuse, USC, the Mets, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Giants, the Patriots, it doesn't matter who you represent as long as you guys represent your favorite teams. Folks, you guys can check them out at Fanatics.com. Folks, Fanatics.com. You guys need to download their mobile app on the App Store or Google Play. Get geared up for not only the NFL season, but of course the NBA season and NHL season is almost here. You guys may want to check this out. Trust me, it's worth it. Check it all out at Fanatics.com and of course the new Fanatics app. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything. All right, folks, we are back here. It is time now for the Fanatics.com breakdown, folks. Of course, this is brought to you guys by our friends at Fanatics. Well, we are in week 6 of football season.
yep. Can't not believe that we went this quick.
I know, it's going by so fast. I honestly can't believe that the NFL season is just flying by, and already we're getting a glimpse as to who is in the playoff picture already and who isn't. But, Noble, we got to start with obviously the one place that we need to start with, and that, of course, was Thursday Night Football.
Oh my god.
And honestly, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe what happened on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah. My jaw just literally dropped when I saw your team won against your division rival. Like, my god.
For folks that need context, on Thursday Night Football, in what should have been a lopsided victory for one team, turned out to be a lopsided victory for the other as the NFC East rivalry took place as the New York Giants took on the Philadelphia Eagles, in which one name can be said right now, and that name is Scattaboo, because he had 3 rushing touchdowns, and even Jackson Dart had a 20-yard rushing touchdown. The Giants get a 34-17 victory over the Philadelphia Eagles, even though Jalen Hurts threw for 283 yards and Saquon only ran for 58. The shining stars in this one were Dart and Scattaboo, with Dart throwing for 195 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 rushing touchdown, and Scattaboo having 3 rushing touchdowns for 98 yards. All I can say is this. Are you fucking kidding me? The one game I couldn't watch because I was exhausted, I had to work the next day. These fucking guys decide to get a lopsided victory over the Super Bowl champions. What the fuck?
Well, I'll give you some reasons how the fuck did you guys beat the Eagles. One, the Eagles are not a good passing offense. They're most likely a running, old school offense. And literally, the Giants expose Jalen Hurts, expose Saquon Barkley. Yes, I had to say here, expose Saquon Barkley, which I know Giants fans are going to be happy with that. And like you mentioned, Scotabo, dude, I said this. I said in the draft stream when I wanted Scottaboo to be drafted. Scottaboo, in my eyes, besides Omarion Hampton, besides Ashton Genty, he's probably the best running back in this year's draft class. And I did not, and I'm never wrong with my statement. My magic just literally made these players just come to life. Scottaboo, almost 100 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. This dude shock everybody here. And how the hell did he came out of the 4th round of this year's draft? In my eyes, he should have been like about a day 2 pickup. But like people are sleeping on Scattaboo. I'm one of those people say, if you sleep on Scattaboo, then I'm sorry, you're gonna get run over. He's a crazy motherfucker. And I think the Giants picked up a very, very good running back. And I'm gonna say this: he's more like a fantastic replacement for Saquon Barkley. And you guys got a great future with Jackson Dart, even though he made some errors against the Saints, which is the Saints. So I think you guys are fine with Dart and Scatabo. Those 2 future players in that team, you guys are gonna be wicked fine this season.
Yeah, so obviously here's my takeaways on this. So the New York Giants, obviously, I was not expecting them to have a big game. But here's what really shot the Eagles in the foot. The 2 turnovers definitely shot themselves in the foot. Not only that, but they were 1 of 9 on 3rd downs. Meanwhile, the Giants were 11 of 16, which was even more impressive. Obviously, I'm not even going to go into the tush push bullcrap. I really don't want to
Oh,
talk about it because honestly, at this point, it's a mute case. But after all I can say is after watching what I watched the other day, where I saw they did 4 tush pushes in a row, and I saw a bunch of false starts, I'm now swiftly changing my opinion to that play needs to fucking disappear here soon. But here was the thing, right? The Giants just went into that game. A lot of Giants fans had no hope. They were like, Philadelphia's gonna run all over us. Saquon's gonna have it. You wanna know what? I heard this the other day. Apparently, they were doing a documentary or they were getting film for a documentary on Saquon Barkley, and heard that they can't use that footage because he had an awful game when he came back to MetLife. Um, to talk about the game in general, right? Because I did watch the highlights and I ended up watching the full game later on. This was the Giants team that I've been waiting on. I've been waiting for a dominating defense to pop up out of nowhere. I've been waiting for Burns to just become a factor on defense. I've been waiting for Robinson to break off and have a big touchdown. These two rookies, I was obviously questionable on them. Dart, I was questionable on. Scatterboo, I was questioned on. But, I mean, it's like these two players are changing the whole dynamic of what the New York Giants needed to be. And couldn't have been prouder. I was like, this is what we needed. We needed a young, vibing team that is going to help rebuild this franchise. With these two guys, one who is a mini psychopath running back who is not afraid to hit his head against a brick wall, and a quarterback
Oh,
who is not afraid to take chances downfield, who is not afraid to run on his feet. This is the kind of team that we've been wanting and needed. Now, many people are going to say, oh, it was because Jalen Carter didn't play that the Eagles lost. And, all the Eagles fans are going to come up with whatever excuse they could. But let's be honest here and let's be realistic. The stats don't lie. The stats do not lie on how this game went. The Eagles had two turnovers that were two costly turnovers that the Giants were able to capitalize on. Eagles had no response when it came to slowing down Scatterboo or Dart. And realistically, they had plenty of chances where they could have taken over the lead and taken over this game. They didn't capitalize on it. They couldn't capitalize in the red zone. Whenever they did, they went 2 of 3 in the red zone. You can say whatever you want about how either good or bad the Giants played, but realistically, and being completely honest here, the Giants just went into this game saying, hey, we may not have a very good season this year, but we're going to fight like hell to try and keep not only Dable as head coach, but to keep Joe Sheehan in the front office as well. Because realistically, they know that if they went in and they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, guarantee you the headlines the next day were going to be calling for Dabble and Joe Sheehan's heads. I can already guarantee it. I knew that that was probably going to be the headlines the next day. But
yes.
Giants needed this win. We needed a win over the Philadelphia Eagles to kind of give us a little bit of a revive. Now, am I saying we're going to go out and we're going to win the rest of our games? No, I'm not saying that. Would I be happy if we did? Absolutely. But, I say we take this game as a learning curve, saying, hey, this is the level that we're supposed to be playing at. Why don't we keep doing that? Not, oh, let's just falter and fail because the Eagles are having a rough season. No. Because realistically, they got to play smart here. Because they only got one game and then they go right to Philadelphia to play the Eagles again. Which, by the way, NFL, good scheduling. Um, but I mean, the Giants needed this win. They needed this win more like the Patriots needed that win against the Buffalo Bills, right?
Yes.
They they
Indeed.
they needed that win. You needed a win against your rivals, kind of gain some momentum back in the season. And that's what happened. The Giants got the win. We're gonna enjoy it now, but we need to focus on next week because we're going to Denver. We have to go to Denver, and oh boy, the Broncos are still a good team. So have to wait and see.
Yes.
All right, Noble. It's now time to get into our favorite part, which of course is making these NFL picks. And we're going to start with the early morning game here because the Broncos are all the way in the UK this morning, and they're taking on the Jets.
Yeah.
9:30 a.m. game. Noble's laughing because he already knows who we're picking.
The Jets are ass. The Broncos are going to obliterate them. I'm sorry. They have no defense. The Jets have no defense. They got no offense. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like the Jets suck. Like they're amongst the worst teams in football. And also they have never made a single turnover on defense. That's how bad this team is. Denver's going to stomp the Jets.
Yeah, I have a feeling Bo Nix is going to have himself a career day today, especially over in the UK at 9:30 here, which we have about an hour or so before kickoff.
Yeah. Yeah, after that big win against Philly on week freaking
Denver's going to ride the high.
yeah. Yeah.
It was last Sunday. It was last Sunday. Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah. After that win against Philly last Sunday, yeah.
But anyway, that game kicks off 9:30 a.m. on NFL Network, and obviously me and Noble are both picking the Broncos.
Yep. No question. Easy pick for us both.
All right, we now move to the 1 o'clock games where we see the Cleveland Browns take on the Pittsburgh Steelers today. Noble, who you got in that one?
I'm with the Steelers. It's the Browns. Come on.
Yeah, as much as I hate saying it, I feel like Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers are just gonna just dominate all over the Browns. The only thing that we're not hoping for is Sanders becomes a starting QB at some point. That we're not hoping for. But I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the Steelers' offense is going to be more dominant, and I feel like they're going to go into that game just completely just dominating all over the Browns.
Y-
So I'm gonna go with the Steelers in that one.
Yep.
Next, we got the Chargers taking on the Dolphins at 1 p.m.
Okay. Let's not pick this game and just say move on. I got the Chargers. Big.
I got the Chargers too. All right, we're not even gonna go into that Dolphins talk. Um,
Nope. Dolphins are ass.
Now here we go. 1 p.m. on CBS. The New England Patriots take on the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, great.
Which
I
hold on,
heard Pete.
before we get into this game. Those that don't know, Noble is a part of another podcast. Noble, if you want to give him a shout out right now, please go ahead.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, before I make this pick here, shout out to my fellow buds at Any Patriots Talk, which they just hit 101 subscribers. So they're doing a special there. So congratulations, guys, and I'll be I'll be part of the post game. Post game, I don't probably Monday or so. So yeah, shout out to Any Patriots Talk.
Yeah, congratulations on hitting your guys' subscribers. But anyway, this game, Noble, the New England Patriots are obviously your team. You're taking on a Saints team that beat the Giants. Got their first win. Who who do you got? I mean, I shouldn't even ask you because I already know who you're going with. But who do you got?
Theoretically, at this point, the Saints, in my opinion, are still the worst team in football. Most people say that this is going to be a trap game from us. Yeah, no. A trap game for me is going to be the Cleveland Browns when we play after the Titans. So with that being said here, I'm good with the Patriots still, and they're on the road at this point. And this is Will Campbell's home game because he played at LSU in Louisiana, same as Keyshawn Booty, who used to play at LSU as well. So I think they're going to be, and yeah, and we lost 4 starters. I mean, it doesn't hurt us. I mean, we still got some good players on defense. Our offense is going to click. We still got Drake May, who's right now top 10, top 5 in passing yards, top 10 in every category. And they're going to go against Spencer Rattler, Spencer the Rattler. I'm sorry, he should not be a starting quarterback now at this point, and they got lucky as the Giants. They're going against a tougher team, the Patriots. I'm going New England here.
Yeah, so I'm picking New England in this one as well. Here's the thing, right? As much as we want to say here the Saints are the worst team in football, I think at this point we can change that to the Jets are the worst team in football, which their has been their motto ever since, ever. Um, but no,
Uh,
I mean the Saints were able to keep up with the Buffalo Bills. They were able to defeat the New York Giants. I just think that the Saints are trying to find their rhythm. I know that they have a decent running game. I know the Patriots have a pretty decent run defense. Um, I
yep,
I just feel like now that Drake May and Stephon Diggs are now finding their way, I feel like that they're pretty much gonna just dominate in this game against the Saints. So I'm gonna go ahead and say the Patriots. Um, do I think it will be close? Maybe. It really depends on what kind of game we get out of both May and Diggs today. They could have a breakout game where the two just completely destroy the Saints. But I did read some news last night that Alvin Kamara is going to be active for this game, so that could be a game changer for the Saints. But I just think that whichever May Diggs combo appears today will really determine who wins this game. But I'm going to go with the Patriots just to be safe.
yeah. Yeah, I do agree with you. The worst team right now. It's no longer like let's say the Saints are the worst team in the NFC and the Jets worst team in the AFC. But overall, Jets are worst.
Yeah. Next, we have the Rams taking on the Ravens. I mean,
Okay,
this should be an easy
okay.
pick for both of us, considering how the Ravens are playing recently. So,
They are full of injuries. That most of their team were on the injured list. All Pro Bowlers, and especially Lamar Jackson, which I think he will be back after a bye week. I'm sorry, Cooper Rush is ass. Give me the Rams.
I'm gonna go with the Rams too. I just feel like that they're gonna play a complete game both offensively and defensively against that Ravens defense and offense. I just feel like, Derrick Henry, he's not playing to his top ability. I don't feel like Lamar, when he comes back, will be a top tier again. But as of right now, I'm gonna go with the Rams just to be safe.
Yep.
Now, here's the next one. We have the Cardinals taking on the Colts. I was gonna laugh at this one, but this one I'm actually interested in seeing, considering what the hell happened last week. Noble, who do you got in this one?
I got the Colts actually because they're a more consistent offense. But now they got Danny Dimes. Can't believe I gotta say this. Who's the starting quarterback for the Colts?
Yeah,
I was laughing my I was laughing my ass off when he was named the starter for Week 1, and I was surprised they actually won that Week 1 game against the Dolphins. Like it's the Dolphins, and they're actually the number 1 seed in the AFC to my damn surprise. And to the Cardinals, Kyler Murray's out, and who do they got here? My old quarterback that we started last year, Jacoby Brissett. So that made my mind I literally switched my mind quickly, so I went the Colts.
yeah. So here's the thing, and I need to clear this up because a lot of people jumped down my throat. People were saying that obviously I was a bit harsh when it came to Daniel Jones and him needing to leave the Giants. I need to say this right now. I didn't say Daniel Jones was a bad player. I'm saying the team that was built around him was bad. I think that Daniel Jones needed to act like a leader. He was not the leader on that Giants team. Let's be for real. He was not.
No,
He couldn't be himself, and the problem was is we overpaid for the guy, and New York fans were pissed off because we overpaid for him and we didn't keep Saquon. So we needed a guy to blame for all of our failure, and we pointed it right towards Daniel Jones. So obviously we got rid of Daniel, and then obviously he was with the Vikings. That didn't quite work out, so then he goes to Indianapolis, a team that needed a quarterback, and he's finding his stride. And I'm happy that Daniel Jones is with a team where he can finally succeed. Um, and obviously they're on a roll. So here's the thing: when it comes to this game, I think the Colts are going to win. The problem was, and I had a huge problem with this, Cardinals. It's the mistakes. The mistakes that they constantly make weekly shoots them in the foot every single fucking week.
Yep. Especially that fumble last week.
Yeah, like that fumble was like the biggest picture of like, hey, we're gonna fuck this up. So obviously, I mean the Colts is the clear choice because they've been blowing out teams left and right. But I just think that the Cardinals are just too inconsistent, and the fact that they now don't have Murray at the helm, I can't really say how they'll play with Jacoby because it's going to be my first time seeing Jacoby behind the wheel of this team. So, as of right now, the safe bet, I'm going to stay with the Colts.
Yep.
All right, we then have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Noble, I want to talk to you about this for a minute. The Jacksonville
Go ahead.
Jaguars. Jacksonville Jaguars. What the hell? They had like a complete turnaround as a franchise, like altogether. They completely are doing everything right for once.
Yeah, I guess Tony Khan has done something smart for once with this team, and his father as well.
I mean, my only thing is, like, I sit here and I say, how? Well, I mean, like, they should not be this good at football. But
I have no idea how the hell they're 4-1 this season. Jesus Christ.
I mean, Noble, for the first time forever, we can sit here and say that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to try and go 5-1 for the first time since 1999. How fucked up is that we could sit here and say that they could potentially become 5-1 for the first time since 1999?
Hell, like hell. I was even hell. I was I was born in July 28th. Like I would be like about a few months old since the Jaguars ever go 5-1. But so and so, like Jesus Christ, I was still a baby then. Like my God.
But anyway, getting back to this game, I think that Jacksonville is going to win this one. I mean, who do you got?
I go Jacksonville as well. Like how shocked I am with this team here beating the Chiefs. That is a massive win for this team, especially with Trevor Lawrence at the helm. Rehab himself here. Now you got some weapons around you, including one of my favorite players from last year in college football, out of Travis Hunter, who actually like I know he played limited snaps. He gets getting getting cramps and injury because he played both sides of the ball. Like he's made to play both sides of the ball, and with that, he's a good receiver and a good defensive player. But honestly, Jacksonville, is I'm gonna be this person. They're gonna be a sneaky playoff team for 2025
Yeah, I mean,
if they can play good football like this.
yeah, I mean, obviously, if they're going to continue to keep playing good football, I mean, geez, who knows how things can go. Um, all right. So now we go to the final game in the 1 o'clock slot. We have the Cowboys taking on the Panthers. The Cowboys are 2-1 in the season. The Panthers are 2-3 on the season. Noble, who do you got in this one?
Okay, so knowing me, I know I'm a Patriots fan. I despise the Cowboys because of their fan base. But I gotta be a professional here. So with that being said here, I'm picking Carolina in an upset.
Really?
Yep. And here's why. The Cowboys defense sucks. They're butt cheeks. I don't care how good their offense is because and I'm sorry, without CeeDee Lamb, without their best offensive player, and without the offensive line, I don't think they're gonna do anything, honestly. And Carolina just came from last week with a win against the Dolphins, which they are which I'm sorry, it's the Dolphins, but it's a massive win. It's a statement win for them at home, and they're playing at home again. This time against a Cowboys team who has a bad defense, in my opinion. I think it's going to be close. Carolina will win this game by a field goal.
Yeah, I mean, just the way that they have been looking and playing, I think that Carolina has the potential to down an already tough uh, offensive sided Cowboys team. Um, but if we're being honest with ourselves here, and the only reason I say that is because I'm not trying to put anyone down. Um, it's just I I don't have a lot of faith in Carolina. I don't know why. Like something about Carolina scares me at this point, to the point where as much as I want to sit here and say Carolina is going to come out with like a big time victory, um, for some reason I don't have that kind of faith in them for some reason. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna stick with the Cowboys. Unfortunately, um, obviously it's not something that I wanted to choose, but for some reason Carolina, in my opinion, just has that consistency that's not quite there. If that makes sense.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, I'm picking the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But
Also there's also there's three messages that is like unwanted there. Nothing to do with the show.
yeah, did you want? Wait, are you not able to delete them?
Oh
Not able to? Fuck.
no, showing off the power too.
I thought I gave you the power.
It was on Twitch. This is on YouTube. You didn't give me anything on YouTube at the latest.
Hold on. I could have sworn I gave you. I thought I gave you. All right, hold on. Let me. All right. Let me. Sorry, folks. This is the production side of stuff where we have to. No, we're not gonna check out Screen Variety TV. As far as I'm concerned, it sucks. And those people can f off. All right. So hold on. No, I gave you moderator now. So you comment something real quick. I gotta make sure that you have it, because if you don't, then
All right, hold on. It's loading for me still. All right, let me see.
while he's doing that, now you got it.
Okay, good.
All right. Anyway, now back to this. So yeah, so obviously, like I said, as much as I want to sit here and say Carolina is gonna defeat the Cowboys, I honestly can't. For some reason, I just don't have that much faith in uh Carolina. I think that they're inconsistent in most of the time, so I'm gonna say Dallas unfortunately comes out with a win. Now we move to the 4 o'clock slot. The Tennessee Titans are taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Uh, I mean, this be the one game where we don't a winner.
Unfortunately, no. Who do you got of this?
I mean, both teams are 4-1. They're playing like absolute ass. I'm gonna say I'll the Titans to. No, you want to? I'm gonna go with the Raiders. Why not? The flip of a coin, I went with the Raiders. Why not?
You see, I don't trust the Raiders. I'm sorry. Geno Smith has played like ass cheeks. I'm sorry. The only best player they have in this, the only two best players on the roster at this point this season are Ashton Genty and Jacoby Myers, who's a former Patriot. I think the Titans are going to be. I think the Titans are going to beat the Raiders. I'm going with the Tennessee Titans here.
Yeah, I I don't know why. It's just something about the Titans I don't trust. The Raiders, maybe they can sneak out like a last second field goal for the win. I just for some reason I don't have that much faith in Titans. It's weird. But at 4:25 p.m. we got the 49ers taking on the Buccaneers.
And once again, another start for Mac Jones for the Niners.
Which it was reported by Scheffner that Brock Purdy will be back next week, but was confirmed.
Yep.
So we got the battle of Mac Jones versus Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
I'm going with the Bucks.
I go with the Bucks as well.
I'm sorry, Mac. As much as I want to say you're having a redemption season, you're not. Sorry. I gotta go with my gut. I'm gonna say Baker Mayfield, and that offense is just too powerful for that 49ers defense to slow down. So I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
Absolutely for sure. Yeah. Like no, like I love Mac Jones. Like it's just when we had him with New England, we had a terrible roster, and with that terrible roster, we still made the damn playoffs in 2021. And then ever since then, Mac hasn't been progressed well because we have a bad offensive line. Our head coach is being rough on him here, and we got two coordinators on the two different side of the ball as offensive coordinators, which is probably the stupidest thing that Bill Belichick has ever done. And Bill Belichick in 2023 just brought down Mac. I'm sorry, Mac being digressed like that is on Bill Belichick's hands. And with Mac now playing for Jacksonville, and now he playing for San Francisco, which they have a better roster, I think this is probably best for him. But I'm sorry for Mac. You're going against the Bucks, and the last time you played Tampa, well, yeah, it's when they have Tom Brady and they beat you at Foxborough. So
Yeah, I'm sorry. The only thing in Bill Belichick's hands is a whole lot of ass. So unfortunately, he's not. Him and that young girl he's got there. He ain't. Sorry, I had to go there.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I don't know why that's funny. Um, anyway, so yeah, we're both going with the Bucks in this one. So last 4 o'clock game is the Bengals taking on the Packers, in which I have Packers. swear to God, if
my
you're sitting there
god.
saying you're gonna pick the Bengals, if you're picking the
I'm not.
Bengals,
I'm not. I'm not. The reason I'm laughing is I'm sorry. Cincinnati is are being so cheap. They do not have a quarterback, and they have a lot of options to get quarterback out. Who do they got? Joe fucking Flacco, who's literally up in age. I'm sorry that with the like you still got some weapons around you, but I'm sorry, I don't trust that defense. They're ass cheeks. Packers by a country mile.
yeah, I have a feeling the Packers are gonna just dominate in that one. So I'm gonna go with the Packers to just completely destroy that Bengals team. There's too many injuries.
Yep,
Many injuries. If Joe Burrow was at quarterback, I would say it's a different story. But
yep, for sure.
we now get to Sunday night football. The Detroit Lions are going to be taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. For me, this is an easy pick.
Oh, yeah, this is an easy pick for me as well.
Lions by a country mile.
Lions by a country mile because the Kansas City offensive line, especially on the left side, exposed. And most outlets are keep glazing on the Kansas City Chiefs. Stop glazing and face facts. The Chiefs are not the same team as they once were in the early 2020s. They're ass. And if I remember correctly, the last time they faced Detroit, they lost against them. The opening game of the season, 2022, 2023. I don't know. They lost to Jared Goff. They lost to Dan Campbell. They literally own the Chiefs. And I don't care if it's at Arrowhead. I don't care if Taylor Swift is supporting freaking Travis Kelce. The Kansas City fans and the Swifties are gonna have their hearts torn by seeing Detroit teeth and clawing their way to victory.
Yeah. So here's the thing. As much as we want to sit here and glaze the Kansas City Chiefs, we're not going to be doing that. Instead, what we're going to be doing is we're going to sit here and tell you guys the facts. The fact of the matter is, Kansas City is not the same team that they once were. Whether it's
No,
whether it's obviously off-season moves, whether it's injuries, whatever have you, suspensions, however you want to put it. The thing is, this isn't the same Kansas City team that many people have said, oh, this team can make a run for the Super Bowl on. This team has potential to be Super Bowl champions again. The fact is, I'm looking at a Kansas City team that says, hey, we've made it to the Super Bowl this many times. We've won it this many times. We've already proved that we're one of the best teams in football. So we're just going to give up this season. I feel like that this is a give up season for the Kansas City Chiefs because let's face it, the fact that they're 2-3 right now is a damn shame. The fact that to me, in my eyes, it looks like Travis Kelce has given up. I don't care what anyone says. In my eyes, he's given up. He does not want to be there. I don't care whatever way you want to slice it. And I know what you guys can sit there and say, oh, but they got a 22-9 blowout win against the Giants, and oh, they beat the Ravens. Yeah, you guys can sit there and say
yeah,
whatever you want, but what I saw on Monday Night Football against the Jaguars was a Kansas City team that didn't know whether they were going left or right. And no offense, when you guys lost to the Chargers and the Eagles, I saw a team that didn't look like the same Kansas City team that looked like it was going to be champions. As far as I'm concerned, you're going up against a Lions team that is hungry for a playoff run, that is hungry to try and make it to the Super Bowl. And one way they're going to prove they're hungry is by picking the bones of the Kansas City Chiefs. And unfortunately, the Lions have way too many weapons, have way too many offensive weapons, way too many defensive weapons. I don't feel like Patrick is going to have any answers for them. And no offense, Travis Kelce, you can go sing about your wood with your wife, because as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm concerned, the only wood you're going to get is Jared Goff taking your ass down. I'm going with the Lions by 2 touchdowns to beat the Kansas City Chiefs tonight.
The fact that you freaking reference one of Taylor Swift's songs for this whole thing, oh, that is so funny. That is so funny.
I mean, look, I don't like getting personal, but I mean, come on. We've been sitting here glazing. No offense, we've been sitting here glazing the fucking Kansas City Chiefs just like we were glazing the New England Patriots back in the day. I mean, no offense, there's a big difference here. One was because Tom Brady was annoying and he couldn't retire. The problem is we don't want to deal with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And no offense, when they don't have weapons, which we've seen now, it's pretty clear that they are the two frauds in football. So, as far as I'm concerned, Lions 2-touchdown victory tonight over Kansas City. I'm calling my shot on that one.
Yeah, Detroit 2 touchdowns and a field goal, in my opinion.
All right. Now we get to the Monday night slate because there's 2 Monday night games this week. Bears taking on the Commanders and Bills taking on the Falcons.
Oh boy.
I'm just gonna put this as simply as I can. I got Bills and Commanders. I mean, don't have any faith that the Falcons are gonna beat the Bills. No offense. As much as I want to say Caleb Williams is gonna give the Bears a run, or is gonna give the Bears some hope against the Commanders. Jaden Daniels back in full form. That Commanders team is gonna make some magic happen, and I think that the Commanders and the Bills are gonna walk away with victories on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. The Bears just came back from a bye. And I'm sorry, as much I love the Commanders, but I still need to see Jaden Daniels if he is completely on force. So with that being said here, no question for the Bills-Falcons game. I got the Bills. There's no way they're going to lose 2 in a row. But for the last Monday game, I'm picking the Bears. Get upset. So they can get redemption from that bad loss, from that Hail Mary win from the Commanders last year.
All right. Agree to disagree, but we'll see what happens. All right, folks, that is our NFL picks brought to you guys by Fanatics.com and the Fanatics.com breakdown. Of course, make sure you check out Fanatics.com and download the Fanatics app on the App Store or Google Play today. So, let me just see something. So, we are going to take a commercial break. When we come back, MLB postseason to talk about. How the last remaining teams, except for one, maybe even 2, I don't think we expected the other 2 to make it. Not only that,
Yeah.
we have an WNBA champion crowned. What was the most dominating sweep of all time. We have NBA basketball to talk about, in which we're going to give our top 3 teams to watch out for this season. Not only that, we have NHL hockey to talk about, because we need to talk about opening days of hockey and which teams are already looking good. So stay with us live right here on BW Radio, the #1 Syracuse Sports Radio, right here on YouTube.
has legit tickets for legit fans. From concerts to sports and everything in between. Vivid Seats makes scoring great deals on great seats fast, easy, and reliable. When it's something you can't miss, Vivid Seats doesn't miss. These guys know what I'm talking about, and so do these guys. Vivid Seats, the only ticket company that rewards you for buying.
A big thank you to our sponsors at vividseats.com. Folks, vividseats.com is your one-stop shop for tickets for any concerts or sporting events you're looking to go to, folks. If you are fans of the NBA, NHL, or the NFL, folks, get your tickets at vividseats.com or download it on the App Store or Google Play today. That way you guys, best seats and the best deals anywhere you go with Vivid Seats. Check them out today. We highly recommend them. All right. Noble, we are back. We are back. We got to talk about this because this is going to be the most interesting MLB postseason. Considering the fact the 4 remaining teams, I am in absolute shock considering what happened last night. I mean, I shouldn't be shocked, but at the same time, I'm shocked. Noble? Noble?
Um, my first bluff of this as a co-host forgot to unmute my stupid fucking mic.
You're good. Anyway, so we had the NLDS Game 5 last night between the Cubs and the Brewers to see who's going to meet the Dodgers in the NLCS. And in shocking fashion, well, not in shocking fashion, but the Brewers were able to beat the Cubs 3-1. Noble, what did you think of that? Did you think that the Brewers were going to make it this far?
Oh, I would never thought the Brewers would make it this far, especially here with the team they have here. Like I'm gonna admit this here, the Brewers are a tough team to beat, in my opinion. They might be the most full, healthiest teams in the National League, in my opinion. Here, in my eyes, uh, what they did to the Cubs, I literally thought Chicago would win this game, win the series, coming to Game 5, but that's not the case. Brewers just literally just put belt to ass on the Cubs. No offense, Ross.
I mean, look, I would have never thought. I mean, obviously the Brewers were the top team in baseball this season, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people said that they weren't going to lose that game. But I mean, realistically, you took a look at a Cubs team that overall had the potential of making it all the way to the NLCS, but the Brewers were just too powerful, man. I mean, the Cubs just really couldn't get anything going offensively on that side of the plate. And what ended up happening is Milwaukee took advantage of that. Milwaukee said, "Hey, they're playing like crap. We have one of the best pitchers around. We can end this," and they ended it last night. And now in the ALCS, which actually starts tonight, believe it or not. Okay, hold on. I want to point this out right now. Whoever keeps posting that screen variety TV bullcrap, fuck off. We're not going to promote it. We think it's trash. We think it's an absolute dog shit site. So fuck off. Thank you. Anyway. So, anyway, back to this. In the ALCS, which throws the first pitch tonight, right, Noble?
Right.
We see the Seattle Mariners take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Two teams that, I'm going to be honest with you, neither one of us said that they were even going to be close to making it to the ALCS.
That's nuts. Especially when I'm a Red Sox fan here. They're like, I hate the Yankees throughout the point, but Throughout my years as a Red Sox fan, I never hate the Blue Jays. And the way that they've been playing this season, this team can actually do this.
You think the Blue Jays are going to go all the way?
I may be the stupidest person alive today. I think the Blue Jays can make it to the World Series this year.
Really?
Yeah, with all the controversy to start the season with Vladdy Jr. on if he's going to be loyal to the team because of he has signed a long-term contract, and I thought the Blue Jays would be like a third-place team at best, but no, they actually played great freaking baseball for once in their lives. They have played significant better baseball than, I hate to say it, better than my Red Sox, and definitely better than the Yankees, which they obliterate them in the water. I I think the Blue Jays can actually compete for a World Series championship.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Seattle's kind of riding the high because their team has made it this far. I think that the Blue Jays organization definitely needed Vladdy to stay. No doubt about that. And
Oh yeah.
he's proving what an asset that he is. He made it very clear that he wanted to remain with the Blue Jays, and he made it pretty clear that the Blue Jays, he wants to help them win a championship. He wants them to be champions. And he says he doesn't want to go anywhere else. He wants to bring a title to Toronto. With that being said, I'm very interested in seeing how the Blue Jays game plan against the Mariners because the Mariners are still a great team as well. They're riding a high as well. Um, that being said,